تِلْكَ آيَاتُ الْكِتَابِ الْمُبِينِ
Assalamu alaikum and welcome to another session of great stories. Our today's story is about Prophet Zakaria and his son Yahya. Long, long ago in the land of Palestine lived a prophet by the name of Zakaria. In those days, Palestine was a bad place to live. Nobody in that land wanted to believe in Allah. That's why they had no fear of Allah. Most of the older people were only concerned with making more money, while the young folks were interested only in pop music, fashion, and having more fun. They were always angry with anybody telling them anything good. The city's elders had coined different names for those who believed in Allah. The mayor of the city called such people terrorists. The chief of the police named them fundamentalists. No one who believed in Allah was allowed to say anything against the government. The country had few people who were very rich. These rich people had their own ways of robbing the poor. Every day the rich came up with a new trick to get richer and then successfully squeezed out of poor the little they had. One after another, Allah sent 90 prophets to Palestine, but nobody listened to them. The people of the area murdered each one of them, and now it was Prophet Zakaria who was given the responsibility by Allah to guide people of Palestine. Zakaria was a nice and simple man. He took good care of the town's masjid and showed people how to pray and fast. Every morning he came to the masjid, cleaned it, and called people for salat. Then he led people in the prayer. Every day he stayed in the masjid during the morning hours. Some people came over to learn about Allah, and he answered their questions. Then he went back to his work at shop. Zakaria made his living working as a carpenter. He worked very hard making furniture and other wood things. In the afternoon, he went back to the masjid for namaz. One day, a lady came to the mosque with a little girl and said, "This is my daughter, Maryam. I want her to learn more about Allah. Can she stay at the mosque?" Besides Zakaria, there were 3 high priests present in the mosque at that time. All of them wanted to have Maryam under their supervision. They couldn't decide on who will look after the little girl. That's when they decided to draw. So the names were written and drawn. It was done 3 times, and every time Zakaria's name came up. Now it was very clear to all that Allah wanted Zakaria to take care of the little girl. Zakaria agreed and started giving her lessons. Maryam was a cute little girl. She spent most of her time learning about Allah. The rest of the time she enjoyed praying to Allah. Years went by. Zakaria was an old man now. He had no children, so he spent most of his time taking care of Maryam. Maryam was a grown-up girl now. Each morning she came to masjid with Zakaria. Then she spent all day praying and learning. In the afternoon, Zakaria brought lunch and the two had it together. One day, while the two were having their lunch, Maryam asked, "Is there something wrong, uncle? You seem to be worried lately." Zakaria shared his worry with Maryam. "It is important to go to people and call them to Allah, but I am too old for that, and I got no children. Who can go to people and tell them about Allah? I am afraid that there won't be anyone left to tell people about Allah after I die." That worried Maryam as well. But she didn't know what to say or do about it. Still, Zakaria didn't lose hope. Every evening he went out to call people towards Allah. By every passing day, fewer and fewer people came to the mosque. Most came over once a week, and some came to pray only on Eid. People were becoming very selfish. They were much interested about what they eat and how they look. Nothing else mattered to them. So they didn't like when Zakaria came over, because they didn't want to listen to the kind of things Zakaria had to say. People often interrupted and said, Okay, but first, tell me, how do I look in this new jacket of mine?" And Zakaria would reply, "Well, you look fine. Besides, you already have plenty of clothing, and it really doesn't matter how you look, but what really matters is how you talk and act." And naturally, this kind of talk was not liked. Or they would say to him, Oh, stop this kind of talk and tell me, do you know of any ways to make more money? And to that, Zakaria would answer, "My friend, you're already a rich man. I know you have a big house and you own lots of cattle, so stop worrying about making more money." Again, he was insulted to give such suggestions. Every night on returning home, his wife would ask, "Do you have any success convincing people today?" To that he would answer, "No, not today, maybe tomorrow, or day after tomorrow." His wife could feel that her husband was sad, so she would try to comfort him. "Don't you worry. Allah knows how hard you try, and I am sure Allah has a good reward for all your hard work." Zakaria would say, "We are old and we are not rich either. People don't care for old people anymore, especially when they are not rich." His wife would reply, I know. And so the life went on. Masjid in the morning, during the day work to make a living, back to masjid in the afternoon, and then going around in the evening calling people towards Allah. The city's chief ignored him for a while, thinking that he is a poor old man. But then Shaitan came to the chiefs and said, "Don't take this old man lightly. He has the power to change people's mind. People will hate you if they start believing in Allah. And I guarantee you won't be the chiefs of this land if that happens." The chiefs called Zakaria and said, "We have secret reports. Some people under your command are planning to take over the city. So we want you to stop telling people about Allah." Zakaria replied politely, "I am a prophet of Allah. It's my responsibility to tell people about Allah. You can't stop me from doing my job." The chiefs replied angrily, "Oh, yes, we can. And don't forget, we have already killed more than 90 prophets like you so far." Zakaria left after saying, "My life is in Allah's hand. I only fear Allah. I only need Allah's help against you." And he then went on with his day's routine without any fears. One day, Zakaria came to the mosque in the afternoon. He brought lunch for Maryam. "Maryam, Maryam, where are you? Lunch is here." And he didn't get any answers. Looking for her, Zakaria went inside the masjid's hall. He found her sitting in one corner of the mosque. She was praying to Allah. Zakaria was surprised when he noticed many kinds of fruits near her. He checked some of these fruits. There were some pineapples, cherries, mangoes, and grapes in the basket. Zakaria sat down and waited for Maryam to finish her prayers. Once Maryam finished her prayer, she said, "Assalamu alaikum, uncle. Let's go and have lunch." Zakaria was still looking at the fruit basket. He asked Maryam to sit beside him. "Maryam, these fruits, they are not of Palestine. I am sure they have come from far off land. Where did you get them?" Maryam told Zakaria, "Uncle, these fruits are gift from Allah. Allah gives whatever He wishes to whoever He likes. No doubt, Allah is the best friend to have." And with that, Maryam went out of the mosque hall. Zakaria remained there. He said to himself, "Allah will answer my prayers if I pray to Him right now." His eyes filled with tears and he prayed, "Oh Allah, you know that people need to know about you. But I am an old man now. You know I don't have any children. So I pray to you for a son who could call people towards you." Few days went by. An angel came to Zakaria and said, "Allah has accepted your prayers. Soon you will be gifted with a son. His name will be Yahya. He will grow up to be the most noble and gentle human beings." Zakaria was happy but surprised. He asked, Really, I am an old man now. My wife is very old and weak as well, and still I will have a son. The angel replied, Allah creates everything. Giving you a son, even an old age, is not a problem for him. Your son Yahya will be a blessed child when he will be born. He will live a good life in this planet, and after he leaves this place, Allah will give him a good life in paradise. Zakaria was glad to get this news. He began fasting. During his fasting, he didn't even talk to anybody. He just remained in the masjid and kept praying. Finally, Allah gifted him with a pretty baby boy. His wife asked him, "What will you name him?" He answered, "I don't have to. Allah has already named him Yahya." As a child, Yahya was very different from the rest of the children. He spent most of his time observing and thinking. When he was young, he loved to watch animals and plants. And when he got older, he spent lots of time looking at people around him. One day, he said to his father, "I don't like the way people act and talk. That's why I spend most of my time away in the wilderness. There I can pray to Allah without thinking of anything else." Zakaria knew that Yahya was a special boy. Therefore, he didn't stop him from staying away all day. Many years went by. One day, while Yahya was out in the jungle all by himself, an angel appeared in front of him and said, "Allah has selected you as his messenger. Now it will be your responsibility to go to people and inform them about Allah." Yahya knew that now he will have to leave the forest and go to jungle. And just like his father, he had to call people towards Allah. He will have to stop people from doing wrong and guide them so they can do good. He loved the nature. He kept delaying his visit to the city, but then he could delay it no more. That's when he came to his father and said, "I am going to the city to invite people towards Allah." Zakaria prayed for his success, and Yahya went straight to the city council where all the chiefs were seated, and he said to them, "You should know that Allah wants you to be nice to others, and to do that you will have to take care of poor and women. So fear Allah and be nice to poor. Don't rob them. Instead, you should protect them and be gentle and respectful to women. Don't make fun of them." The chiefs didn't expect an advice. One of them said, "Why should we be listening to a young man like you?" Yahya replied, "Because I am telling you the right things." Now that was no answer to satisfy the chiefs. They were angry, but they decided to find out more about this young man before taking any steps. So they told him to come some other time. Right after he left, the city council sent a man after him to find out who he was and where he lived. Pretty soon the chiefs knew everything about him. Once again, the shaitan came to the chiefs and said, "Didn't I tell you Zakaria would make trouble for you? Now see what he has done. The son of Zakaria is here to challenge you. You just watch. He will have a whole army ready in no time. Then he will definitely throw you out. That thought scared the chiefs. Few days later, Yahya was back in front of them. He again demanded that chiefs should obey Allah. One of the chiefs said, "You have no power over us. We don't have to listen to you." Yahya replied, "Allah has power over you. I am here to deliver His message. Therefore you must listen to me." The chiefs were annoyed. "Well, as of last count, we have about 90 different men coming here on different times, telling us that they are the messengers of Allah. Maybe they were, or maybe they were not. We don't know for sure. And we don't care either. So we killed all of them. And we might do the same with you if you don't leave right now." With that, they threw Yahya out. Yahya was beaten badly. Most of his body was bruised. His family took him back home, where they took good care of him. Yahya didn't go back to the chiefs for many days, but the chiefs were still worried. Maybe he is making an army. What if he attacks us in next few days? So they called their grand meeting. In the meeting, they decided to kill both Zakaria and Yahya. They thought of killing Zakaria first, but one of them said, "I am afraid that if we kill Zakaria first, then Yahya will attack us with an army and revenge the killing of his father. So let's start with Yahya, and then we will kill Zakaria." They sent for the soldiers. They found Yahya praying to Allah all alone in the wilderness. He was chained and brought to the city. The chiefs had a long list of charges against him. All the charges were read out, and at the end, one of the chiefs addressed the public. "People of Palestine, you will have to know that we have captured Yahya at a time when he was planning to kill everyone." Yahya said, "That's a lie. They caught me from the wilderness where I was all alone." The chief jumped and yelled, "Aha! And that's the whole point. Do you know what he was doing there? He was planning. We have found many plans and maps in his bag. Bad thing that his friends ran away." The chiefs sounded so convincing that everyone believed in what he was saying. Yahya was beheaded. His body was buried while his head was put on display. After killing Yahya, the chiefs announced, "We have a good news for you people. To protect you completely, we have decided to kill Yahya's father, Zakaria." Zakaria? They will kill Zakaria as well. People were surprised. The chiefs noticed the surprise in people's eyes and said, "Yes, Zakaria, you people are so innocent. You don't even know that Zakaria is a wicked old man. He is a sly, like a fox, so he should be killed for your own protection." And then Zakaria was killed as well. And this is how people of the past treated their good people. Even today, good people are tortured and murdered. It's a game that Shaitan knows how to play very well. Now, read this story yourself. Go to Holy Quran and enjoy reading this story. Till next session of great stories, remember, save yourself from the dirty games that Shaitan loves to play with humans. You can save yourself from Shaitan by reading Quran every day. Assalamu alaikum.